Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us again. Beautiful day here on the Gold Coast. Cool night, cooler morning, but this is our winter. Special thanks to my trainer, Senior Master Rod Ferguson from the Australian Academy of Tai Chi and Qigong. Also special thanks to Samantha Hughes and her team, the Active and Healthy City-wide program, City of Gold Coast. That's what makes these videos available for you. This is going to be the last week. I've had some students who have said, well, can we have a change? So I'm going to be doing a different program this morning, a different set, a different form. Thursday, what I'd like to do is actually put it all together with low hunt 1 and low hunt 2, and just leave you on that note. It is a very good winter exercise. Shoulder width apart. I always talk about this, but it is about good posture alignment. Just imagine a couple of pendulums from shoulders actually just going down to heel, sinking back into posture. How we sit and how we stand is most important. So, sinking back into posture, so allowing the body just to condense, to balance through the middle, through the upper, through the middle, and also through the lower area of the body. Feet, shoulder width apart. You can have them slightly wider. You can differentiate your feet if you want to come out, or slightly narrow if you wish. Toes pointed slightly in, so we have that balance. And also just that balance from the front to the back part of the body as well. Just making sure that feet aren't indented in as well. So we have that support coming down. Love to do this particular exercise, very good breathing exercise for you. So we just come up as we feel through the body, coming up to the eyes and then sinking back into posture. Very simple exercises. Calming the breath, calming the heart, calming and focusing the mind. Breathing all the way in, so we open up all the spaces through this. I always imagine projecting up through top of head as well. And then we just gently just lower. When we're gentle with the body, it's gentle with us. And this is, I always say this is the reward for all the hard work we've done. All the things, all the heavy lifting, awkward positions, not enough time, it's a gentle way of rewarding your body. Particularly as we grow older, because unfortunately we do shrink upon the skeleton, and our muscle stands, ligaments also do shrink upon that as well. Coming back into centre. We can also turn through the waist, all the rotational aspects through the waist as well. Imagine that string projecting up through Bayway or Governor Versal 20, projecting up, lifting the shin, S-H-E-N, the spirit, projecting up through the body. So we rotate through the central axis. Breathing in. Very simple exercise actually, just to start your day. If you're not quite sure what to do, this is a great exercise. And we come back into centre again. So in all cases, we're working with our body. Always working with it, not against it, please. When we work against it, it's like if we thrash our cars, well, cars just fall apart. And we turn to our right hand side. So our gaze is also forward as well. So just making sure we don't look down. Coming back in the centre. I particularly like this movement. So visualising the breath coming through the diaphragm into the internal organs, so it's a flow. Projecting out. So we sink back into posture, we project, using all the joints through the wrist and all through the fingers as well. And I love to just rotate fingers there. I'm hoping you can see this. Hope I'm not taking it out of shot. And just coming back as well. Just do that one again for you. So breathing in, and a long and flowing breath. Please don't hold your breath. So if you need to take this 2 or 3 breaths, no problem at all. Breathing in, this is particularly good for the chest, opening up the chest, very good for the immune system. Very good for producing those T cells which actually flow through the bloodstream as well and work in harmony with our immune system. Actually boost it. Do one more. Favourite exercises. Favourite exercises are just fun to do. If they're fun, you're going to have a positive attitude. When it's stressful, geez, I don't want to do this, really working against the opportunity of learning how to do the exercise as well. So sinking down, pushing down to actually push up. Palms come over, so palms come up as if picking up something very heavy, and the body sinks down to compensate. Very simple exercises. When I leave here, I go along to a retirement village, and I have to be particularly careful, very, very careful with the attendees there. They're 80s plus. My oldest student so far has been 101. My youngest, I think, is 3. And also just pushing out to the sides. I love the rotational aspects here. Rolling over the hands. Very good for any arthritic condition. We must move joints. This is to warm, to nourish, to nurture. If we don't move the joints, they simply just don't move. The Arthritis Foundation says, move it or lose it. So if you don't move the joints, you'll lose the function of them. And that's very true. Pushing down. Rolling over hands to push up. So there's a number of things we can do here. And I just love a very simple one. Arms just nice and relaxed like this. And we rotate through the shoulder, we rotate through the elbows, we rotate through all the joints in the wrist and also the fingers. We extend the fingers out. Must include that one as well. So we breathe in. Long and flowing breath all the way in. So we come back to the sides, long and flowing breath all the way out. And then we can push, we can project, we can rotate to the sides and also to the back. And these movements are all about increased range of movement and increased range of rotation. Just going slowly, there's no rush, there's no hurry. And that's why I say there's simply just no need to. First of all, so that you feel the movement. Secondly, so that when we rush things, we usually damage things. And that's when we have our most accidents. In other words, the mind is usually disconnected with the body, not flowing with it, and not the body is not in harmony with the thought or what we want to do within the mind. Thirdly, so we have that aspect of one seriously just flowing with the other. Only going as far as what you feel comfortable, and always just being loose, agile and flexible. We all have different medical history, so we need to do whatever is appropriate. And that's why I like working with different students, because I always learn from the students. As a teacher, I'm always a student. Every student I teach teaches me a new and different way of how to teach the next student as well. This one here. Remember this one from my Tai Chi Gold. Sinking back into posture. I love this exercise. It was actually the first Tai Chi exercise I learnt in Adelaide, and I think that's around about the 1990s, I think. No, 1980s. Sinking back into posture. This is heavenly lift. So we sink back into posture, we project up. See how I'm sinking back, pushing up with the palms, and I hope you can see that. So we'll just bring that movement down a little bit further. And it's like the movement we do out of the Love Hunt series as well. And coming back down again. And that's a good, gentle stretch. Just do that one again. Pushing up. So the more I push up, the more I sink back into posture to support the movement, to ground, to have that grounding. It's centeredness. Low center of gravity gives us confidence, and this is what I talk about with the elderly as well, having that low center of gravity so that we have a connection with the earth, and if they do fall, they lessen the severity, and in most cases we stop the falls from even happening in the first place. And then also we enhance the confidence within themselves so that they're more independent. Okay, been on their feet for some time, always like to do this exercise. Squeezy. And this is about the Venus return. So the heart has no problem actually pumping the blood down to the toes. The problem is actually the return journey. So this actually activates and helps the heart, aids the Venus return coming back to the heart. So you could say in cooler days, yes, the blood is not as viscous. It's actually, because it's not so warm, it's actually thicker. So what we need is actually that warming aspect. We need the good circulation. It's also about sensitivity to the feet as well. It's also about the muscle stance ligaments actually wrapping around bones, supporting bones, which support the body. It's also about low center of gravity again, so we have connection with the earth as well. And it's about sensitivity, particularly with elderly, enhancing, maintaining and enhancing the sensitivity, particularly within toes and feet, as to what they're feeling. In other words, if there's a problem, they knock upon something, they trip upon something, it activates the brain quickly to correct the problem. Sinking back into posture. Now, I'm going to use this chair. Bring this one over here. I'll just do this a little bit differently today. So, I'm hoping you can see this. I will put it over this side as well. So I sink down upon that right foot. I'll just bring up my knee. I think I will do it to the side. It's a little bit easier. So sinking down upon that right foot. See, when I want to go up, I actually go down. So imagine the string actually upon my knee here, coming back down. Simple knee lifting is one of the best exercises you can do as well. Simple exercise to do. I mean, we do this naturally. It's an incorporation of how we walk as well, because we have to pick up our knee to actually project out with the foot and then put it down again. So you can just go from one simple exercise to another. If you find it a little bit challenging, just starting with this particular exercise first. And that's where I started. So unfortunately I only have half the strength of my left leg, so I'm actually doing these sort of exercises to rehabilitate, to activate the muscles, to strengthen them, also to give me balance and coordination. Simple things like this. Just coming out, so from the knee, what I'm doing is actually just projecting out. Take that around for you. So what I'm doing here, sinking back into posture and projecting out. And of course you can put that foot anywhere where you wish. So again, just going slowly, stepping out to the side. There's many movements actually in low hunt 1, low hunt 2 I should say, where you actually just place the foot there without placing weight and then just gradually come over. And from here, I can bring up the knee, I can push it out, I can also just take it out to the side. Just placing on the ground, so we just have that tactile sensation, and then when we feel safe, we actually transfer weight, coming from one side to the other. And the other thing we can do is actually just to step back. And I'll do that movement for you. There's a special exercise I'd love to do with that. So don't be shy in using props. Don't be shy in using support. Sinking back into posture, stepping back with that left foot to there. So my hands are pushing back like this. When I place that foot down, the heel down, my hands come forward. Breathing in and breathing out. So this way I'm projecting up through the body as well, projecting up through the top of the head and pushing it out. Bringing that left foot forward, we transfer weight out the left hand side, we step back. So my hands are pushing back as if I'm just pushing back against the surface. I sink back in posture, placing that heel, and also I'm getting the projection up from the heel all the way through the leg, through the torso, and through the trunk of the body. So it comes up to the shoulder, and from the shoulder projects down to the hand itself. It doesn't have any particular name, but this is one of the best stretches you can do. Through the feet, a lot of people do get cramps actually in the feet and also in the legs. in the calf muscle, the gastrocnemius, and also on the hamstring and quadriceps here, hamstrings at the back. And I do get those sensations. And also in the back. Simply because of winter, we bundled up inside. There's a tendency to actually hold our muscles, tendons, ligaments rigid for warmth. It's a natural progression. Coming back. Okay, sinking back into posture, transferring weight out to the right hand side. We use this transition quite a lot. So simply all I'm doing is actually going from the toes into the heel. And from the heel, I'm taking the toes out. So again, this is about increased range of movement, increased range of rotation. So we have the rotational aspects there. Placing the left foot down and with the right foot. This is a very good exercise, particularly for flexibility. Most people are not very flexible actually in their ankles. A lot of my students tell me that, or in their legs, or in their hips. Hips, knees and ankles. Three big areas there, because we do rotate from there and coming down. So I always suggest this one, because we can always, a lot of the areas where I go to, students have got to walk up a hill or something like this, or in a park, when they go down the beach. Favourite thing. Coming out, pushing out to there, pushing forward, pushing towards the back, as if we're pushing back against a wall, and also pushing forward. Placing that left foot down, always making sure that you have a safe foundation first, then we transfer weight, then we step out, and then we do the exercise. So always focusing on what you want to do first. Taking your time. If it doesn't feel safe, or it doesn't feel secure, or you're a little bit tenuous about it, just waiting, and then only doing the exercise, or doing the activity that you need to do when you're ready. Okay? We must have the confidence up here to have the competence throughout the body as well. And coming back in the centre. Okay, so I'm going to change the music and see if you can guess which form or set this one is. Shoulder width apart. Horse riding stance, just making sure that you're nice and relaxed, nice and balanced. This is about balance, securing balance, enhancing, maintaining and securing balance and coordination. Waving arms in the air in the horse riding stance. Just come a little bit further forward. So we sit back in posture. We project up through the spine. We project out from the shoulders out to the hands. Just coming up to the shoulders and flowing back. I always think of just going down the beach and you're shaking out your towel, shaking the sand out of the towel into the session. Very good for backs, for opening up all the spaces through the discs. Very good for circulation throughout the body, because this enhances all the areas of the body, particularly when it's cold, because what we do want is good circulation, good warmth throughout the body. We also want to enhance the immune system as well, so getting impurities. It's not just carbon dioxide, but it can be other toxins, impurities throughout the body as well. As I always say in the lungs, friendly and unfriendly gases, which always come in from the atmosphere. Pushing out. Very good for breathing. Enhances the breathing throughout the body. It spans the chest, so with any problems, any breathing problems throughout the body. Very good for asthma, bronchitis, cystic fibrosis, emphysema. Very good for that dry, hankering cough. Change of season. In anything, I notice on the Gold Coast we have cooler nights, sometimes cooler days, and then it just turns warm again. So the body's always under attack, externally and also internally as well. This also stimulates and invigorates the central nervous system. So very good for brain power, for reasoning, for memory. Also the pumping action here is very good for the venous return again, pumping the blood back to the heart, enabling the heart to do a better, more efficient, more effective job. So very good for good heart health. Just do one more. Forward flowing movement. And simply with all the Tai Chi and Qigong exercises, just flowing with the movement plates. That's what we do. Opening the chest. Opening and broadening the chest. Most of the chest just projecting out through all the joints and the wrist and also the fingers. And then on the return, we're simply just following our own path back. And pushing down. As we push down with the hands, body comes up. Sinking back into posture. Always enhancing a good stable position before we start the movement. So that way we have good confidence in doing the movement. And also it's very good muscle memory actually for the muscles involved, which is usually the whole body. It's whole body movement. So it isn't just my hands going out. It isn't just my chest opening up. It isn't just all the spaces of the disc opening up throughout the back. It's also internally actually opening up the abdominal cavity, so it's a gentle massage. You notice how it's gentle massage throughout all the internal organs, so they can come back into the normal positions, into the rightful positions, unstressed, efficiently and effectively as well. When we sit too long, unfortunately we do crush and suppress and repress not just the organs, but also their functions, their vital functions as to what they individually and importantly do. So we need that stretch. We always need that stretch in the morning. Calming the breath, calming the heart, calming and focusing the mind. Projecting out. Particularly like this movement because we're also opening up all the spaces with all the joints in the wrist and also the fingers. Sorry, I just need to do one more. Halfway through. So it is about extension, and just as importantly with every exercise, it's about relaxation. Sinking back into posture. Turn around for this one. So we sit down. You can always use this position as a holding station, as a breathing station. Oh, where do I go next? Transferring weight out the right hand side and projecting out with the left hand. You see how there's a flow from the shoulder. Always a little bit of an opening here in the armpits, so never fully extending out because we don't want bone going against bone and we don't want a stressful situation. We want always a relaxed movement and projection. So when we do activate out to here, what I'm doing is actually flowing through my arm, also through the palm and also through the fingers. With this, imagine that string coming up from Bayway or Governor Vessel 20 into the palm. So I'm sinking back into posture. I've transferred weight out to the right hand side. I'll just make sure I can do that. So we breathe out. When we do come back in the center, we breathe in. And if you wish, you can just breathe in, breathe out. We transfer weight out the left hand side and we go to a right hand side. I always love to do this one on rainy days. In fact, anytime it is a rainy day, I always do these exercises. Painting the rainbow. So as if our hands are like two big paintbrushes, painting across the sky, painting the rainbow. And this is particularly good for weight transfer. transferring weight from one side to the other, and I always suggest exercises like that because there's an engagement of all the muscle stands, ligaments actually squeezing around bone. That's their job, to enhance the bone, to strengthen the bone, to support the bone as well, and also to allow the bones to breathe. So we must always think of that porous aspect there in the bones. You see how I'm just turning through the weights as well. So all the rotational movements with all the exercises actually through the waist. Also enhances blood flow. So from one side to the other, if I kept this position, for 5 minutes, I'd have blood flowing back to here because it's easy for the heart to do that. It'd be very difficult actually for the heart to actually flow up to here. So what we're doing is going from side to side. So we're enhancing that, its flow. And this is an exercise I love to do. First thing in the morning, sinking back into posture, but separating the clouds. Come up on the toes if you wish. You can hold that position for as long as what you wish, for as fast what you wish. You can also just push out with the palms as well. You notice in the movements of the low arm, wild horse drinks water. In one instance, sinking back to there and pushing out. Lowering the hands. Allowing that movement to go down, not slumping forward, but just going directly down through the body. It doesn't matter which hand you've got over in front. Really doesn't matter at all. Coming up, extending through the body. I'm just going to come down, just a little bit lower. Hopefully I'm not out of shot here. And I'm just going to put my palms up like that. So coming down. So you can always do small movements. The next class I go to, there's a lady there who can only just do up to her shoulders. So that's what we do. So you can always adjust the movements. You can always adjust the exercises. That's what I love about Tai Chi and Qigong. So you can push out. This is still extending through the chest. It's still the projection through the palm. It's still the projection through all the fingers, through all the joints of the wrist and also the fingers to push. As if you're pushing two big curtains open. And we come back. And this is very good for the back, opening up all the spaces through the discs, projecting up. And you can also do this exercise over to the side. So again, just rotating through the waist, sinking back into posture. I love to do that movement over to the side because it enhances all the turning aspects here through the internal organs. Again, gentle massage and support, and also through the back. Mainly the lumbar region, the lower back. It just makes it a little bit more interesting as well. And we turn to our right hand side. You don't have to do this movement to the left and the right hand side. That's just an optional extra. Okay. Stand. See how my right hand comes back to here? We sink back into posture. What I'm doing is actually clasping the air in my palm and also my fingers here. But I come up to the shoulder here, pushing down with my left hand. We extend. We push out. You see how I just rotate through my waist. I extend. You can extend the palms and then just release. Rolling arms in the horse running stance. So I always imagine I'm down at Bunnings, a hardware store, and I'm pushing, there's a sheet of timber out of the stack. So what I'm doing is actually pushing that sheet of timber back in. The more I push it back in, of course, it's grabbing onto the other sheets of timber. There's more inertia. It's actually a little bit harder. So that's why I sink down a little bit further. Release. Pushing from here, I grab the air coming up to my shoulder. Now it's time to push. Rotate through the waist and actually extend through the palms. Extension, this is just another exercise you can do as well, just to digress. I love to do this one with my students. So we breathe in as we come up. This is the yang aspect. This is the yin. Coming up. Rolling arms in the horse riding stance. See how the wrist just rolls over. Ease of movement, always ease of movement through rotational aspects through the wrist as well. Just going to digress there. I do things like this, and that's why I do things like this as well. Coming over, just projecting. To here. So always ease of movement throughout the body, please. Hands going back. Love this exercise as well. This is great for back, so always think of this as a great back exercise. So we just simply relax the wrists, sinking back into posture. You project up. I'm going to come down. Hopefully I'm not out of camera shot here. So, body is back. We can project the hands forward, making sure we don't lean forward as well. So we have that support, that projection down. With balance and coordination, imagine your hands like two big oars. And what they do is they strike the water. So we strike the water, imagine pushing back. The visualization is most important in Tai Chi. So it gives the body a reason through a movie, through a movement, through visualization. What are we doing? Oh, we're striking water. So that takes a lot to actually push. And then we just release. And the same thing with oars. We need that balance and coordination. That symmetry, the way it should come up, so that the oars go down at the same time. Otherwise we're paddling around in circles. Pushing back. Very good for all the regions of the back. Rowing the boat, as if you're rowing the boat across the lake. Excellent for actually opening up the chest as well. We see how we push down, we project back, projection up through the back, we release, and the movement starts again. Sinking back into posture, projecting up through the spine. All the regions of the back, that's what I love about this exercise. Projecting out. Can be a slight projection out here too. The other visualization I've got is going to the dry cleaners and trying, you remember the big press they use to press the suits or presses or whatever? Okay, it's very heavy. I haven't tried one. But every time I go to the dry cleaners, I look at the person who does that. So this to me is very similar movement. Just do one more. Pushing back and coming up. Next movement, transferring weight out the right hand side, we sink back into posture. This is number 7. And we come up, we support the ball. So you can have your hand down to here, again lifting. I think I'll just use this chair if you don't mind. And I'll just put that to the side. So even something tactile, even if it's just one finger. Oh, that feels okay because I can feel something solid. And that's what I do with the yodeling. So coming up to here, we place that foot down. We sink back into posture. See how I go down first. Always establishing low center of gravity, that good foundation. I come up, and as if I've got a string actually just on my knee, and that string is coming up to the palm. So as if I'm a puppet, but the puppet master. Being in charge of my body. Because if you're not in charge, someone else is or something else is. Both knees bent. This is a very good strengthening exercise, particularly through the muscle tendons, ligaments, and also through the bones as well. So personally, I have good days, I have bad days. I just have to work through them. And that's why I use Tai Chi and Qigong as part of my therapy. Stepping while bouncing the ball. Oh, this is... and coming back. Yeah, I was thinking of another exercise. No problem. That was number 7. Number 8, sinking back into posture. As if we're pushing up a big window to gaze at the moon. This is particularly also very good for backs. So we sink back into posture, we project up, see how my body comes down. So if we're pushing up a big window, here's the moon, full moon, or increasing to full moon, or maybe just after that, whatever you wish. Special moons, special lunar events. So we rotate through the waist, through the back, we project up. And again, we don't hold that position for a long time. So we don't want a blood problem here with the hands up to here because there's no, or very hard to actually pump the blood up to the fingers. Number 8. We gather the air in the palm. What I always visualize is dog is jumping up, so we're patting dog down. So we come up to the ascent line to here, sinking back into posture, we rotate through the waist and we push. Can't push any further, so we project, we release. Breathing in, breathing out. I'm going to ignore that, sorry. Just didn't take the phone off, so I'll just let that ring out. Turn waist, push hands, or to push the door, or to push the temple door, or to face the wind, or to push the palm, or to press the wind. Very good balancing and coordination exercise. Always recommend this one, because when you're turning through the waist, using all the aspects of the back, using the abdominals as well. And to change the exercise to number 10, we push over. Well, just don't rest there. A little exercise I do, and I know I've done this one before, is hands just coming out to here. This is what I do. Pushing out, and then just release. I always think of the hands like pistons. So this is the intake stroke. This is the power stroke. So we push. We release. This is a relaxation stroke because the arm relaxes in such a way so it can push out. Pushing over to there. To continue that exercise, turn waist, push hands. Just to come back to this movement here with the right hand just pushing over to the left. See how the hand just releases. When we do come over, left hand to here. Left hand simply means, well, we're going to the left hand side. See how the arm is just connected. Connected with body. So all we're doing is actually turning through the waist. When we do come over to the sides, holding the ball, so my left hand is on top, right hand is underneath, we have a big ball here, and just rotating. You can always just relax, just take your time, just have that moment. Just to relax, just coming out to the right hand side. Right hand on top, left hand underneath. Cloud hands. Another exercise I like to do on cloudy days, rainy days as well. Just that light drizzle. Or a little bit more than that. So our hands like clouds, they're just flowing like clouds, just coming over from one side to the other. Change that exercise again into number 11. We transfer weight over the right hand side. We step out, 45-degree angle, just a casual step out to here. We come down, we scoop, sinking back into posture and projecting up. I'm just trying to keep my hands low, just so I can see that movement. But what I'm doing again is just projecting out with the palms, with the fingers. And we come down, we scoop, we gather, scooping the sea and looking to the horizon. Making sure that you don't have an over-dependence on that front foot. Our weight is really just going down between both feet. And again, both knees bend. So we support through the legs. We support through the whole body to do the movement itself. Scooping the sea and looking to the horizon. pushing out to the sides. Some people do find this exercise a little bit challenging, simply because I think they overbalance towards the back or towards the front, or in some cases actually both. I've seen that. Sinking back into posture. But it is about even balance. It's finding your centre of balance. Nothing unlike any of the exercises we do. So we're always finding our balance. And releasing. Hands is coming up. This is a transition point here. We place that left foot down, transferring weight out the left hand side, making sure that it's safe. We step out with the right foot, sinking back into posture, scooping. You see how we just roll back upon that heel, coming down to actually push up. Very good exercise, particularly for the backs. And I feel that particularly in the back and also on the chest. And I think 99% of my students do. So it's a great exercise to do first thing in the morning. Do one more. I always think of this exercise and the next two exercises as actually part of a cluster or a set, because they just go together. Transferring weight over the right hand side, we step out with the left foot to here. And this is like waving arms in the horse riding stance. So we sit back into posture and we project out. My body is back. The more I come back, the more I can project forward with my hands. Coming up, and just lying back, pushing the waves. So in many ways you can push with the palms. You can start off with the fingers actually projecting out and then pushing with the palms in such a way so that you just way back, roll back. So I always imagine myself out the back and Neptune, pushing the waves, pushing them, flowing them through to the beach. Hands coming back into centre, we hold that position there, it's nice and light. Transferring weight over to the left hand side, placing that foot first, transferring weight over, stepping up with the right foot. Flowing movement. I imagine myself drawing an egg. Very large one, maybe a dinosaur egg. Very good for the back, very good for extending out through the body. Any exercise that actually does that, I'm just going to do one more. So again, it's allowing for relaxation. Always relaxing before you do the movement, which allows for the movement itself. Okay. Transferring weight out the right hand side, we step out onto the heel of the left foot to here. We expand. We sink back into posture. See how I sink down upon that front foot? Sink down in such a way so I can place my back foot down, sinking back. I always imagine myself opening two big doors, two big closet doors. Okay, so you have to step back to actually allow the doors to open. We breathe out as we come forward. We breathe in as we go back. Sinking down, extending through the body. Extending through all the joints in the wrist and also the fingers. Number 13, flying dove. This is, to me, it's one of the best balancing and coordination exercises. One of the best breathing exercises you can do. Again, just involving whole body to do that. Hands is coming back. We place that left foot down, making sure that it's safe. We transfer weight over the left hand side. We step out with our right foot just upon the heel. And expanding. Contracting. See how the feet move. Then moving forward. So we're getting a good circulation within the feet, within the legs as well. We're getting weight transfer, we're getting not just weight transfer, but also a weight bearing exercise, just going forward and also back as well. Do one more. So this one particular exercise I think is very good for balance and coordination. And we come back into center. Number 14, sinking back into posture. It's like the movement we do with the warrior monk before he squats the horse. Shoulder width apart, that's in Lohan 1. So, fist rotating out to there. I like to do this movement here. I know Rod introduced me to this one, and we just release. Number 14, punching in the horse riding stance. So notice how there's a little bit of a gap. See how we rotate through the body. So it isn't throwing the fist out that has no power from it. So what we do is we sink back into posture and we project, we rifle the fist out. So that might be target to there, and we just release. We want to come out a little bit further, rotate through the waist, and that way we get that extra projection. Coming back to here, releasing. So this is a very good exercise actually. Focus, good posture right from the start, ensuring we have good postural alignment and correction, and good postural maintenance. We only do it once. So we need to maintain good postural maintenance all the way through. Every time we do stand and sit, just being aware of what you're doing and then correcting it if you need to. So this is about good focus and also about good breathing. This is a good breathing exercise. So when we come out, it's like the Lohan focuses the chi, that after there, you can always use that expulsion of the air as well. To change the exercise again, we project up, migrating geese or migrating goose. To me, this always reminds me of the butterfly, because the butterfly comes out to here, and then we project down. But this one, we come up a little bit further. Very good for breathing. Excuse me, you can also go towards the back as well. Migrating geese or migrating goose. So the story has it within the Chinese community that when the geese fly overhead, that you send all your wishes and your prayers to your relatives or friends in faraway places. And when the geese come back, as they do, they migrate. They even migrate over the Himalayas. They go for thousands of kilometres, very high altitudes itself, as well, for long periods of time. So when they do come back, they bring all those wishes and prayers back to you. And some Chinese people say, yeah, that's right, and other people go, haven't heard of that. So it depends on who you talk to. This is particularly good for opening up the chest. And love this particular exercise. Rotating flywheel. Sinking back into posture. Very good for all the reasons at the back. I do this one daily. Just can't help it. As we come back into center, you can also just relax. See how I just rotate through the waist. And hands come down. And we'll also go the other way. Very good for flexibility. I find this is an excellent exercise. Most people are not flexible through the back, not flexible through the hips, knees, or the ankles, simply because of sedentary lifestyle. When we do have sedentary lifestyle, unfortunately, this compresses, but also our muscle stands ligaments, again, don't get that adequate blood flow, or the impurities going away with the lymphatic system. And muscle stands ligaments, if you don't use them, you lose that strength, you lose the toning. and coming back into centre. Now, the exercise I was thinking of before. This one here. So, what we can do, and this is using opposite leg and opposite hand, coming down, stepping while bouncing the ball. The other exercise I was thinking of is supporting the ball in front of the shoulder. Now, just slow down that exercise. Even I'm just going a little bit too fast. And it's like a pushing back with that backhand to there. So I'm getting support from the back to actually come forward. So I'm just going to come up like this and come back down again. Last exercise, number 18. Shibashi simply means 18 breathing exercises, 18 skill exercises. So sinking back into posture. Always suggest this exercise. There's a number of variants in which you can do. I like to do the one actually from Lohan. One, and also the close, particularly the close from Lohan 2. Now we normally go into monk in meditation, but simply calming through the head, calming through the body, centering. So what we're doing is deliberately bringing the energy down through the head, through the neck, through the shoulders, through the chest, down through the internal organs, balancing, calming, centering. If you do have worry, concern, anger, frustration, alleviating that, dispersing, diluting and dispersing those emotions. If you do have heart problems, either inactive or hyperactive heart, or if you do have lung problems, breathing problems in any description, focusing upon that area as well. Excuse me, I get very itchy. And if you do have worry, concern, particularly in the stomach, spleen, where we ripen a rotten food, but also we ripen a rotten ideas and thoughts. So this is where a lot of negativity can be as well. So only digesting food and a very positive mood, please. Dispersing that as well. I'll just do one more. Calming the chi. Very simple exercises. That's Shibashi 1, Shibashi in Mandarin. I'll go through the lotus. I'll use the same music. I love this music as well. It really doesn't matter what you use. It really doesn't matter at all. So, preparation. Always suggest preparation. So even though we've done almost an hour of exercise, I particularly like to use this particular exercise, this type of preparation, simply for the lotus. So we sit back in a posture. It's very good for strengthening through the legs, balancing through the body, supporting the body, strengthening through the body when we do project up, activating the body. So it's not just good circulation, not just good breathing. It's also about dispersion of toxins coming out through the breath. Projecting up through the spine, to open up and project up through the spine, through the top of the head, rolling shoulders back. Very good shoulder rolling exercise. I know I didn't do this one before, but this is an excellent exercise just to disperse the emotions of anger, frustration, tension, just with the shoulders. Because that's where we physically actually hold our shoulders, because that's about our responsibilities, our burdens, our obligations. Coming back to here. Waving arms in the air, the horse riding stance. Nourishing and nurturing the back, and that's following the bladder meridians. And also physically massaging through the kidneys. So this is very good for aiding our renal functions as well. Balancing the fire and the water. Hands coming over in such a way so as you actually encompass the elbows, holding on the elbows, squeezing, projecting our head through, squeezing that stale, resonant air out of the body as much as possible. Relaxing. Snow rabbit digs the earth. And I always imagine scooping through the diaphragm, the new air. So we've exhausted it, we must exhaust it first. Now this is the process, this is the youngest aspect. Coming through the internal organs, coming into the chest, projecting up through the spine, opening up the chest, and coming back. Okay, scooping. Oh, may as well do this. So this is the scooping aspect there. Scooping fresh spring water across the land. We disperse. We're very careful with the water, so we hold in the palms of our hands. The crops grow out of the soil. All the projection going up, we're using all the joints within the fingers and the wrist, and the reins fall down. So the lotus projects. Coming up on the toes, holding that position for as long as what you wish, for as far as what you wish. And it's a very good back stretching exercise as well. And we release. In the lotus, we start with our left hand. In the Shibashi one, we start with our right. So we gather in the palm. But I always imagine dogs jumping up. So we sink back into posture. The closer that hand gets, coming up to here, center line, turning through the waist, looking out, pushing, projecting. Turn waist, push hands, or to push the door, or to push the temple door, or to face the wind, or to push the palm, or to press the wind. From the belly button, we lift the sky, coming up to the eyes, to press the earth. Only going down as far as what you feel comfortable, bending from the waist and bending from the knees, please. So going directly down, to lift through the body. And very good lifting exercise as well. To understand all the mechanics of how our body works, particularly the back. So we push down with the right hand, we project up with the palm of the left. The elegant white crane stretches its wings in the morning sun. Hands coming back, I always think of two ships passing in the night. So it's a projection up and projection down at both sides. Love this exercise. Please do not dismiss this one. Snow rabbit digs the earth. Scooping and gathering again. And releasing. And we start the form. We finish the form with waving arms in the air in the horse riding stance. And may I suggest placing the hands just below the belly button, the dantian. Center of energy. A few quiet breaths, please. Standing Zen. Releasing hands. I'm Brad Holmes, Tai Chi Gold Coast. Thank you for joining us again. I'll see you again shortly. Thank you.